Today, I made a decision that honestly scared me. I returned the car that I had been renting to drive Uber. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm actively trying to make more money. But here's the thing. The car wasn't making me any money anymore. It was actually costing me money. And you know what? Sometimes the hardest financial decision that you have to make isn't necessarily finding another income stream. It's knowing when to walk away from one. The reason why I even started driving for Uber in the first place is because I needed income, right? I got laid off from my job, and that was one of the quickest ways that I could create the income that I needed. And I thought that it would give me flexibility. It would work really well with my lifestyle and, just what I had going on at the moment. And when I first started, it was that, and it did do that. So, it was a good idea at one point. One of the things that made Uber really attractive to me is that idea that I would be able to earn whenever I wanted to or needed to. If you ever drove or used Uber, you can order from there at any time. You can get a ride at any time. So there's work 24/7. I have big appreciation for that kind of flexibility where I can choose when and where and how I work. And it worked really good for quite a while. What I would do is I wake up really early, get out, and I would make the money that I wanted to make for the day, literally in like the first 4 to 6 hours. And I really enjoyed that while it was working. However, there came a time when it just did not work that way for me anymore because my life circumstances changed, right? As life be life, and like we say. And so when my circumstances changed, the car just wasn't working like it used to. The reality of having the car, it was basically that when it was working, it was working. But when it stopped working, I'm struggling to like hit the trips because when you rent the vehicle, there's a minimum number of trips a week that they want you to complete in order to keep the vehicle, right? Because you're getting this super discounted weekly rate on the condition that you use it for Uber. And so I was really struggling to hit that weekly minimum. I'm talking about, you get to like the day before you have to have those trips due and you're out trying to do, 30 trips in one day. It's too much, right? And because I wasn't getting the required number of trips, in addition, the time frames that I'm going out is changing, which affects like how you make money or how much you can make in a given time that you're out there driving. And so with those changes, it turns out the car wasn't even making any money. I'm just paying every week for this car. And it didn't take long for that to be stressful. Another tidbit I wanted to add in is that the car was fully electric, right? And my previous circumstances, I was really able to charge it at home and, not have to worry about going to the charging stations that are out and about in the world. But with my change in circumstances, right? Then I started having to use those chargers more. And it's like, it's so inconvenient. The nail in the coffin for me, I literally took the car back the next day, which is today. Today is the next day. So the nail in the coffin was last night, okay? I go to try to get my trips in. And afterwards, I go to this charging station to charge the car. And I fell asleep while the car was charging. And I woke up to an additional $40, $50 charge for the idle time being plugged in at the parking space. So I wound up paying like almost $100 to fill up this little teeny tiny electric car. And that was it. So that experience quickly led me to thinking about my time and just trying to figure out if I'm getting the best return on where I'm spending my time and with what I'm doing with my time. And when I wound up like looking at the numbers and actually breaking down what was going on with this car. I was paying to work. I was making no money. Honestly, the honest facts are, and I'm not trying to villainize Uber or anything. I think Uber offers a great opportunity for people who can really take advantage of it in the best way. But even before, when I had, you know, a good routine going on, I was, you know, after paying for the car, after the expenses and things like that, I was just barely getting to the goal, you know, just barely getting there. And yes, I could have gone back out, drove more hours, this, that, and the other, but my lifestyle only really had space for the window that I was using. So that's me and my life and my story. There are people who make, you know, great money doing Uber because they have the time and the ability to go like that. I didn't. The decision to return the car did not come easy. My boyfriend was like, I think we need to let this go. I think it's done. And at first I wasn't really feeling that. I was very nervous. I was really worried. And the craziest part, it wasn't really about returning the car. The craziest part is I was so worried I was going to be charged all kinds of fees. There was like a scratch that got on the car. It was a little teeny one, but it was like a bird flew into the car, you know, weeks ago. And I just knew they were going to just, you know, give it to me dry on that. And I just had all these fears and all these worries about it that I was like, no, you know, because I had actually thought of returning the car before as well. But those fears and me worried about being charged fees and stuff like that, I'm like, I'll just keep it another week, try to make some more money so that when I go to return it, I'll have the money that I need for whatever they about to try to throw at me, right? And it's certainly not to villainize Uber or Hertz or anybody. It was just me, right? And my worries and fears. And you know what? We get there and I just wanted to drop the key and go because I'm telling you, I had real fear that these people was about to charge me a lot of money because I had a car before that got a flat tire and they charged me out the yin yang for that tire because it got a hole in it, like it was a blowout kind of thing. But then I get there and I give her the key. She goes outside, checks the car, comes back in, and nothing. Hey, close it out. You're good to go. So it worked out great in that it was so smooth, it was so easy, and that also just kind of confirmed to me that it was a right direction to be going. And you know what, I also got a couple other really good omens right after returning that car. I'm not gonna go deep into it. I talked to my man about it, but like just divine communication that I'm heading in the right direction and that this was a good move. It honestly felt like I had been carrying around this weight for months. And just like that, it was gone. Here's the thing, right? Though, just to have a transparent moment, I don't know what's going to replace that income. You know, I've got YouTube. I've been working on some digital products that my audience has asked for about RV living. I've got a dispatch business that I'm trying to get off of the ground. You know, I don't know what's going to win. I'm a virtual assistant. I help people organize their business, emails and calls and all kinds of really in-depth things. And I honestly don't know where my income is going to come from, but I still feel like it was a good move to get that one off of my shoulders. And you know what the good news is? I may not know which one is gonna win. It may be something totally different that replaces my income. Who knows, right? But what I do know is that I have time now to like figure that out. More time to think of those things and less time that I'm gonna be using worried about getting trips, worried about paying for the car. You know, that took up a lot of time and mental space. Overall, what I can take away from this experience is it's super simple. First and foremost, not all income streams is gonna be a good income stream for you. And opportunity cost is a real thing, man. When I'm sitting here telling you that I was paying to work, the opportunity costs for the Uber were high for me. And it got to a point where I really was not making any money. I realized that just time is a valuable asset. It's my most valuable asset. And being able to use it more towards things that are my priorities, that are valuable to me and my family, I think that is about the best use of my time that I can do. It's also about removing something that's holding you back. That car was an opportunity in itself, but it was holding me back from focusing on things that I'm passionate about, from paying time and attention with my family, and just making progress in other areas of my life. All this time spent focused and worried about that just really held me back. So, this is where I'm at. This is what it is. And I think that today wasn't really about giving a car back. I think it was more about making room for the life that I want to build. And you know what? It's done at this point. And now that I've done it, I have 30 days to make it the right decision, right? Make sure it wasn't a mistake, find some income, work this thing on out. Thank you for watching and just listening to my story. This is part of what's going to be a series, because now I have to build this life. I have to build my life. I got to find income. Got to figure it out. And I intend to, and I'm going to take you with me. So thanks again for watching. Hope this video was at least interesting, right? And stay tuned, ring the bell, all that. Like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye.